Team Fortress 2 is a video game released in 2007 by Valve and has stood the test of time. In TF2, there are many different classes to play. Scout, with his incredible speed and ability to flank easily, wiping teams' backlines. Spy, with his sneaky invisibility and ability to backstab enemies, capable of taking out whole teams. Demo Man, with his powerful grenade launcher, capable of taking out massive groups of enemies at once. And... Medic? Medic is, as the name states, the medic. He can heal people, grant invulnerability, and easily be the most powerful asset for your team. He's not just a healer, he's the cornerstone of a successful team push, and is often the difference between victory and defeat. Mastering Medic is more than just holding down mouse 1. It takes knowledge of your positioning, ability to act under pressure, and knowing your priorities. This video will explore the essentials of the Medic class, diving into the strengths and weaknesses of each Medigun, emphasizing positioning and survival, and the order in which you should heal your team. Medic is what you would call a medium class. Not too weak, but not very bulky either. Medic has 150 health. This means he can survive a multitude of things these classes can't. Medic also has a passive healing mechanic of 3 health per second, allowing him to heal himself while healing others. This mechanic can save your life, especially if you're on fire. Medic has 3 slots for items: your primary, your melee, and most importantly, your Medigun. The Medigun is what will do the bulk of your healing. To heal someone, look at them and hold down mouse 1. You can look in any direction while healing someone, so use that to your advantage. The beam's connect distance is 450 hammer units. However, the beam's disconnect distance is a bit longer, being 550 hammer units. For anyone who doesn't know what a hammer unit is, it's a unit of distance in Valve's game engine. The Medigun is also capable of more than just healing injured teammates. The Medigun has an overheal mechanic, allowing you to buff teammates to 150% of their health. This is a very useful ability, and it's very important that you take advantage of it. There's also a hidden mechanic on the Medigun. It's something called crit heals, and they are, as the name states, critical heals. If a patient hasn't taken damage for about 10 seconds, they will be eligible for these crit heals. The crit heals heal patients at triple the speed a non-crit heal patient would. It's another extremely important mechanic, and if you're not taking advantage of it, you're not going to perform as well. Another useful tool for Medic is that you can see your teammates' health, even without having your beam on them. So, when you're in a fight, or just around your team, check for who needs heals the most. The healthier your team, the better. Now, for the most disgustingly powerful mechanic on Medic, and the most powerful mechanic in the game, Medic's Uber Charge. Medic has this little thing in the corner of your screen with a percentage. That is the charge of your Uber, and it generally takes about 40 seconds to charge it. Once you have it, oh boy, you can win. Uber gives you 8 seconds of invulnerability, or something else for the other Mediguns, but we'll talk about that later. Allowing you to do just about anything. Want to take out a sentry nest? Sure, pop an Uber. Want to charge an enemy team and wipe all of them? Sure, pop an Uber. Want to kill that one sniper that's been wiping your whole team and making your life miserable? Sure, pop an Uber. Uber is a game-changing mechanic, and often, if used correctly, wins you the game. Now, with all that Uber talk, each separate Medigun is capable of a different one. Let's start with Old Reliable, aka the stock Medigun. The stock Medigun is the most balanced choice out of all 4 of Medic's options. Its Uber provides invincibility from all damage for 8 seconds, taking a minimum of 40 seconds to build it. This Uber allows Medic and his patient to be able to do really anything with it. You can kill a large group of people, take down sentry nests, push points, or even defend them. Keep in mind that when you're Ubered, you're unable to cap the point. Just a little thing I should add. It heals patients at a speed of 24 health per second, 72 with those crit heals I was talking about earlier. You can also have an overheal rate of 150%, allowing classes such as the Heavy and Soldier to become extremely tanky. Personally, I believe that this is the best Medigun to use in most scenarios. Its Uber is unmatched in versatility and can do some great healing. There's no real counter to the stock Medigun, especially during an Uber push, but the only real counter to it would be Pyro's Air Blast, as the stock Medigun's Uber has no resistance to that. I highly recommend this Medigun for anyone that is just starting out. Next is the Kritzkrieg. The Kritzkrieg is quite similar to stock in many ways. It heals at the same rate and has the same overheal percentage. However, it differs from stock in its Uber, and oh boy does the Kritzkrieg have a fun Uber. The Kritzkrieg gives the Medic's patient 8 seconds of guaranteed crits, allowing the Medic's patient to deal triple the damage during that time. Oh yeah, and it also charges 25% faster than stock. This is the Pub Stomper Medigun, or the Medic girlfriend's favorite. There is no downfall to this power. It is unparalleled, unmatched, unbeatable. Oh, yeah. The downside to the Kritzkrieg is the lack of defensive utility. Literally all that is needed to stop a crit's push is a backstab, a snipe, a random crit, a flanking scout, or just anyone focusing their damage on you. Despite the glaring weaknesses of the Kritzkrieg's Uber, it can be an extremely powerful utility, capable of stomping servers. I'd personally recommend Ubering demos and soldiers, as explosive damage is extremely lethal with crits. You should use this Medigun if you have a lot of soldiers and demos, or you just feel like making everyone else fear you. I don't really recommend this Medigun for anyone who is just starting out, as you know, it doesn't have that get out of jail free card that other Mediguns have. The Kritzkrieg is an incredible weapon if you're a gambling enthusiast, as you roll the dice every time you use it. When you roll high, you win big, and I mean big. When you roll low, though, you lose a lot. Like, a lot. Now, the quick fix. The quick fix, as the name states, heals your patients faster. As opposed to the stock Medigun and Kritzkrieg's 24 health per second, the quick fix heals at a rate of 33.6 health per second and 100.8 health per second with crit heals. However, it has a decreased overheal rate, only allowing you to increase someone's health to 125% of it. The quick fix's Uber is kinda like the Kritzkrieg, but for healing. It heals your patient at 300% speed, essentially giving you crit heals for 8 seconds. It also resists movement and parrying effects, meaning you're invulnerable to Pyro's air blast, which is pretty big. The quick fix also allows you to mirror your patient's movement effects. So if you're healing a soldier and he rocket jumps, you go with them. This can be used for some cool and wacky pushes, and it's always a fun pick because of it. The counter to the quick fix is a backstab, a random crit, or a sniper, because the quick fix doesn't give you invulnerability. You can still be shut down rather easily if the enemy team is in the right position at the right time. I'd recommend using this if your team, as a whole, is taking lots of damage and you can't quite keep up. While I do think this is probably the worst Medigun in comparison to the other ones, it's still a great one for beginners. To put it in a few words, the quick fix is like duct tape holding together a house in a hurricane. It can hold things together really quickly, however, it won't save you from an extremely powerful disaster. Finally, the Vaccinator. The Vaccinator is the most interesting and hard to use of the four. The Vaccinator heals at the same rate as stock and the Kritzkrieg. However, it overheals patients at minus 66% of the normal rate, meaning it takes a lot longer to buff people. However, the Vaccinator has easily got the coolest mechanic out of all the Mediguns. It provides a 10% damage reduction to 3 separate types of damage, those being bullet, explosive, and fire damage. Press R or whatever your reload key is on your keyboard to swap these. The Vaccinator has 4 separate Ubers, each lasting 2.5 seconds each. These Ubers give a 75% damage reduction plus a 100% damage reduction against crits. This means that when you pop an Uber while using this, you can't get headshot or crocketed to death. You can also pop all of your Ubers on the same person, giving someone the trifecta of buffs. It can be used to counter literally anything. It's the most dominant, most powerful, most... Yeah, once again, the only counter to this is melee. I really don't recommend this one to newer players, as it's extremely hard to use. Even I have trouble with it. It has potential to be the best Medigun, but only in the right hands. I seriously recommend checking out Theory-Y's video on this weapon, as he goes in depth with it, showcasing why it's arguably the best in the game. The Vaccinator is like a Swiss Army knife. It's got many different uses and can be useful in several different situations. It's only useful when the right blade is out at the right time. Now, I haven't really talked about Medic's primary and melee, and that's because there aren't really any other good choices beyond the meta. For primary, use the Crusader's crossbow. Don't use anything else. Don't listen to anyone else. Just don't. The Crusader's crossbow is genuinely one of my favorite things of all time in gaming. It shoots a syringe at 2400 hammer units per second. The closer you are to your patient, the less healing you will do, and the further you are, the more healing you'll do. It also automatically reloads after use, so you can use it in conjunction with the Medigun to provide incredible burst healing. It relies a lot on your game sense and makes you have to guess where your patient will be going. It's such a cool concept, and I love it. For melee, you have a choice between the Uber Saw and the Solemn Vow. Personally, I like the Uber Saw. It'll give you a 25% Uber charge on each swing and gives you a taunt kill. The taunt kill, if you kill someone with it, actually will give you a free Uber. The Solemn Vow allows you to see your enemy's health bars, giving you info for your teammates. It's entirely up to preference on which you choose, but if you're more of a beginner, I do recommend the Uber Saw. Okay, now that you've learned about the basics of Medic and the different Mediguns, I'll give you some tips on positioning and survivability. First rule, and the most important, your life is worth more than everyone else's. Say you have 2 choices in a fight. One of them is backing away from a fight, or pushing into enemy territory to go heal someone who's alone and will put you in risky positioning. Always attempt to stay alive. Unless you're sure you'll make it out of the push alive or something really quite beneficial will come of it, your only focus is staying alive. If your team is down a medic, the other team immediately has an advantage. So always make sure you're in an environment where you can keep the most people alive at once. If you're about to die and you have an Uber, pop it. It's more worth it for you to stay alive and use the Uber than to risk dying and not getting the Uber entirely. Now for some positioning tips, stay behind your patient. Always stay a good distance behind your patient as well. Also, use the cover to your advantage. Remember, your beam has quite a bit of reach to it, so you can hide behind a wall while your patient fights an enemy. Also, never stop moving. Make sure you're jumping, strafing, and spy checking as often as possible. This helps prevent snipers from killing you as you become a harder target to hit, and prevent spies from killing you as, once again, you become a harder target to hit. In this clip, I watch as my teammate gets killed by a sniper, so I back off to behind this wall. And a bit later, I go back out to see if it's fine to be there, and no. The engineer dies right beside me, and I assume the sniper was initially aiming for me. Playing medic means you're gonna have people hard focusing you all the time. Spies will pass up easy backstabs if it means they have an opportunity to kill you. Snipers will pass up easy kills if it means they have an opportunity to kill you. Everyone will pass up easy kills, or heck, even suicide bomb the front line just for a chance to deal 70 damage to you. Play paranoid. Imagine there's a sniper peeking around every corner. Imagine there's a spy behind you at every corner. Essentially, play medic like everyone is out to get you because they are. Now, this will be a bit of a smaller section, but it's important. This is the heal order section. The order in which you heal different classes can vary quite a bit depending on your choice of Medigun/circumstance. I'll break it into 3 categories: pre-game, mid-fight, and post-fight. For pre-game, make sure you're overhealing everyone possible. Because the setup phase takes close to a minute, everyone will get access to crit heals. This means that you can overheal basically everyone to max health before the game starts. Now, there isn't a specific heal order for this one necessarily, as you should be giving everyone heals here. Although, I would focus on your demos, heavies, and soldiers, and heck, even your medics to have max overheal priority over everyone else. Next is the mid-fight. Now, the heal order for this section will vary greatly, by class at least. It essentially goes first, whoever actively needs a medic to survive. These are the people who are about to die. Second, the people who are actively fighting people. Generally, these are soldiers, demos, and heavies. Third, damaged players who are out of combat. And finally, fourth, players who could just use some overheals. Heal priority during the mid-fight, and just in general, essentially boils down to whoever can do the most with your heals. Don't ignore players, and definitely don't pocket just one player. The more divided your heals are amongst your team during a fight, the higher a chance your team has to win. Finally, the post-fight. This one follows the exact same categories as the mid-fight, except I'd add an extra one. Crit heals are just so important, and if you can abuse them, especially after a fight, do it. My general heal order would be demos, soldiers, heavies, pyros, scouts, medics, NGs, snipers, and spies. Now, this is not set in stone, and this whole list could get flipped depending on the circumstances. One last thing before I go to the next section, always overheal your NGs and snipers, as long as you're not in a fight. They, generally, won't be taking as much damage, so they're often eligible for crit heals. So, if you see one of these 2 classes just chilling, give them a quick overheal. Medic can take over games, and will take over games if used well. Playing Medic is more than just healing. It's about sense, decision making, and timing. Understanding your choice of Medigun, positioning well, survivability, and mastering healing priorities are all needed to become a good Medic. Medic is the hardest class to play, and my personal favorite. I hope this video taught you a thing or two, and maybe even converted you to become a Medic main. Anyways, see you next time. Goodbye.